Hey, remember Minecraft's new chat reporting system? Apparently it got worse. Let's talk about that. So I made a video about this last month, and you're free to watch that if you'd like, but I basically just said the new report system is overbearing, it's dumb, the ban reasons are really dumb, but it's only for 1.19 and you can get rid of it with mods. Today though, that's all wrong, except the whole being overbearing and dumb part. But let's start with the good, because there actually was some. Oh, and also, consider subscribing. It's pretty cool. Firstly, a few of the ban reasons from the last video, ones like profanity and sexual content, are no longer an issue, hopefully, and they've been removed from the list of reportable offenses in newer versions of Minecraft 1.19, which is great. On top of that, they've confirmed that just discussion of self-harm won't be bannable, reported messages won't be censored, reports include context on their end, and chat reports won't work in single player. Thank God for that. There's this really angry villager in my survival world, and I wouldn't put a couple of fake reports past him. And lastly, in the last video, there was no appeal process because, in the words of a Mojang senior community manager, the guy that should be the most careful about things like this, these bans were for some of the worst offenses out there. Apparently though, Mojang has finally realized that they are not an all-knowing, infallible, omnipotent entity, and they're just a bunch of people that made a report system without enough forethought, and now you can appeal your bans, because let's be real, they have and will continue to ban for really dumb things. However, that is about where the good ends, so time to be negative, yay. First things first, report reasons. Yes, profanity was removed, along with sexual content and extreme violence and gore, which is odd because I feel like that was one of the few that most people didn't really have a problem with, but whatever, servers can take care of it. However, note what is still present: harassment, false information, and talk of drugs and alcohol. I think a lot of trash talk and poor manners could easily be misinterpreted as harassment, and similarly, a lot of sarcasm and jokes regarding drugs and alcohol could be perceived as genuine endorsement of illicit substances, not that it particularly matters. If Bobby Bojangles wants to share his love for crystal meth Mondays, I see no reason to, care at all. And false information, just please stop. Ever heard of murder mystery? We're just throwing that in the trash now? The rules are still pretty dumb, but on top of that, out of nowhere, there's 3 new categories to reporting, at least on the website: player name or gamertag, unsporting behavior, and quitting early. Okay, firstly, it's unsportsmanlike behavior. Unsporting is technically not wrong, but it's really weird. And secondly, what? Quitting early? Mojang, guys, this is not Valorant. This is not competitive Rocket League. This is Minecraft. This is a Lego simulator. If you're gonna baby the community and treat us as if the average player is 10 instead of 24, you also have to accept that the game is casual enough for these kids and thus shouldn't be running on esports rules. That rule is incredibly stupid, and I don't know why it's a thing. Unsportsmanlike behavior isn't great either. Again, this isn't like Dead by Daylight, this is Minecraft. The most unsportsmanlike thing you can do is spleef your teammate's bridge, and even then you laugh it off 2 seconds later. It's not bad enough to report, and certainly not bad enough for a ban. And then finally, we have the report for a bad gamertag. This one's actually not terrible, since people have fit some pretty terrible things in their usernames, but you know what you should do instead of banning them? Change the name. You have the power, you do it anyways to plenty of people that don't want it or deserve it, so why not here? Like, think, please. Fortunately, I think that's all there is in terms of new report reasons, but it's not the only changes that have been made. Up next is possibly the worst news we've received. In the last video, I said that bans would only affect versions 1.19 and later, and at the time that's what I believed, but it turns out, according to some new information from Mojang, that is not true. If someone reports you and you are banned, you will be banned from the entirety of multiplayer on all versions, not just everything after 1.19. The reason why is that the ban applies to Mojang's session servers, which are used for all multiplayer except cracked servers, I believe, so a Minecraft ban will basically reduce your paid account to a free cracked account. Now, you still can't get banned on earlier versions. Cryptographic signatures in the report system don't exist prior to 1.19, and I don't believe that reporting would function properly with version compatibility mods like Geyser MC either. So if you don't play new versions, you're probably still safe, but regardless. On top of that, Mojang is now actively trying to combat mods that disable this chat reporting feature, like the No Chat Reports mod. The way they're doing this is by implementing security checks for every single message in chat, marking them as secure, not secure, or modified. Therefore, all the messages from mods like these are going to be marked as insecure in some way, and on top of that, Mojang has said that messages like these are being flagged for their investigators, which goes against what they've already said about the system not monitoring chat, so either they phrase things really poorly or they're just lying. Neither one is good. I think even when this is working properly though, it's gonna make chat kind of a mess. So many messages are modified before they get to you. For example, any sort of command responses or server announcements, adding rank names or tags, or anything the server censors. So the chat is just going to be littered with not secure and modified all over the place. I think this can be done better, and it's still somewhat early in the report system's life cycle, but Mojang's words and actions have not made me too confident that things will get any better, and that leads me into the last part of the video. Mojang is sticking by their decision. Despite nearly every player and every server I've seen being completely against this, they're not only refusing to go back, but they are doubling down on this highly flawed, highly controversial system, and at the same time, almost insultingly, trying to reassure us like children that everything's gonna be a-okay, even though we've already seen that's not true. Firstly, they released a slew of new articles on the report system and why it's added and what it means and so on. And for the most part, I'll let you read these for yourself, but I do want to touch on this point from the reporting FAQ. Responding to the very reasonable question of why are you moderating servers and not just realms, Mojang's like, oh, some servers don't moderate, so we'll do it for them. Okay, first, you don't really need to moderate realms either, since you can only join those through friends or by invitation, so unwanted guests or malicious comments aren't really an issue. But as for multiplayer, yeah, some servers don't moderate because some servers don't care or hold the same values as you do. And get this, I know this might be crazy to believe, but the people who play there, they don't care either. That's the reason why servers like 2B2T continue to thrive, even though half the community are in violation of basically every single speech law there is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for 2B2T getting cleaned up a bit, and the toxicity is actually the reason I didn't continue playing there after covering the history a while back, but the community is clearly fine with it, and I don't think it makes sense for the values and beliefs of new players and Mojang moderators to override that of the well-established decade-old community. But hey, that's just me. The other thing I want to cover is this response from Mish, another community manager at Mojang. The general feel of the message is someone along the lines of, guys, stop, you're being meanies. Oh, also, we're not gonna stop. And while I definitely do not support harassment of Mish or anyone else at Mojang over their terrible decisions regarding reporting, I think one line from this specifically comes off as extremely tone-deaf. If you feel strongly about something in Minecraft, please tell us in the appropriate locations. We have. Many times, so many times, on Reddit, on Twitter, on forums, the Minecraft suggestion site, even in private, and you ignore it, which is literally the whole point of this post, saying that even though you know about the pushback, and you know that nobody wants this, and nobody asked for this, you're still going through with it against the wishes of your community in a very YouTube and Twitch-esque, two people told us that they didn't like this thing that is present literally everywhere on the internet, let's hastily implement a really dumb rule or a system that negatively affects 95% of our users and ignore their screams of pain, and also not fix the problems that we had to acknowledge because nobody would let it go. Those annoying people who actually care about maintaining the reputation of our platform. But whatever, I think I'm gonna end it off here before I get ahead of myself. Mojang's taken enough of a beating as it is, so just wanted to update you all on where the report system is now and crack a few jokes in the process. Hope you enjoyed, thanks for watching, and have a good one, boys. Peace.